Hey y'all, it's your girl Killa. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to make my vegan plant-based ground beef. If you are looking for a vegan ground beef that is not processed, does not contain soy, tofu, tempeh, seitan, wheat gluten, or any of that, you want an all-natural but textured vegan plant-based ground beef, I got you. You've come to the right place. So anyways, I just wanted to stop by and say what's up. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. First things first, you're going to need 1 cup of raw walnuts and approximately 1/8 cup of quinoa and 1/8 cup of lentils. Here I have both the quinoa and lentils in the same cup, which is 1/4 a cup because the brands that I buy actually have the same cooking time, so I'm going to cook them together. So we're going to steam the walnuts for about 25 minutes until they have softened and are slightly bendable. And you are going to boil your lentils and quinoa according to the instructions on the packet of your brand. For me, it's going to be about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's been 15 minutes and my quinoa and lentils are done. Just in case you're not sure what to look for, they should be nice and fluffy. So it's been 25 minutes and the walnuts should be done. What I like to do to check it is to place a walnut in between my fingers and see if I can bend it a little bit. It should feel a little flexible. If so, that means it's done. Next, you're going to pour a little olive oil into a heated pan. We are going to saute about 1/2 cup of an onion, but feel free to use more onion if you like. So while the onions are sauteing, we're going to throw some of our ingredients into a food processor, starting with the steamed walnuts. We're going to pulse them in short bursts until we reach the desired texture, which is going to be small but not too fine. We don't want it to be dusty or crummy. All right, so this is the type of texture that you're looking for. Don't forget to check on those onions. These are done, so we're going to go ahead and push them off to the side. The next ingredient we're going to throw into our food processor is 1 cup of mushrooms. I would recommend white or portobello for this recipe. Here I have white. So we're going to pulse them in short bursts, just like we did the walnuts, until we reach the desired consistency. So this is kind of like what you want your consistency to look like. If you have a couple of pieces that are larger, don't worry about it. What you don't want to do is over pulse it, because then it will become mushy, and we do not want mushy. We want them to be kind of small, but not too fine. Next, we're going to pulse 1/3 a cup of chickpeas. Here I have canned chickpeas. The key is you want to make sure they are dry, because if they are not dry, it is going to affect the texture of this recipe. So please make sure you wipe them off with a towel or a paper towel before you pulse them. Again, we're just going to pulse them in short bursts until we reach the desired consistency. And this is kind of what you want it to look like. So here are the ingredients that we just got through pulsing. I do want to say the reason why we did not pulse them together is because they each have a different texture, so they would have pulsed at different rates. And we want to make sure that we have the right consistency for each one of them. So now we're going to put the pan of onions back on the heat and throw our pulsed ingredients into the pan. One thing I forgot to mention is that we need to use a little more olive oil in our pan. So if we didn't place it in there before, just go ahead and throw it in there now. Now it's time to season. So we're going to start with a little bit of seasoning salt, followed by some onion powder, a little bit of thyme, followed by paprika, then a little bit of smoked paprika. And if you don't have the normal paprika, at least have the smoked paprika. Next, a little bit of chili powder. Followed by some ground mustard. A little bit of cumin. If you don't have the cumin, you can miss it, but if you have it, use it. Some garlic powder, of course. Some black pepper. Followed by a dash of Montreal steak seasoning. If you don't have it, that's okay. And last but not least, a little bit of coconut aminos. If you don't have coconut aminos, you can use a vegan Worcestershire sauce. So now we're going to gently fold it so it is well mixed. You want to make sure that you are very gentle. Again, we're not working with real ground beef, so you can't be as rough as you usually would. You can't handle it the same way that you usually would. We're working with fragile ingredients, so please be very gentle. We do not want it to turn into mush, and we do not want to compromise the texture that we created earlier. So after it's well mixed, you want to spread it back out across the pan. We want to spread it out into a single layer as best as possible, because what we want to do is make sure we cook it undisturbed and as evenly as possible. So spread it out to cover the entire surface of the pan as much as you can. And we're just going to let it cook on medium heat. After about 4 to 5 minutes, it should be ready to flip. You can tell because it will be a little brown. So we're going to flip it so it can cook on the other side. And then we're going to spread it back out across the pan so it can cook evenly and undisturbed. After about another 4 to 5 minutes, the other side should be done. So now we're going to go ahead and throw in our quinoa and our lentils and gently fold those in as well. We're going to let it cook for we're going to spread it back out just like we did earlier, covering the surface of the pan. And we're going to let it cook undisturbed for about another 3 minutes or so. You'll know it's ready once it's golden brown, and you may see a little bit of char marks. But before we let it cook for its last 3 minutes, we're going to give it a taste test to see if we need to add any more seasoning. Another key tip for this recipe is that you do not want to overcook it. If you overcook it, it will taste very dry. So do the taste test, add more seasonings if you like, and cook it for a couple more minutes. So now it's done. It's nice and golden brown, and it's ready to serve. Let me show you how I like to use it.